Hi guys, I'm back again today with another video from Not Just Bikes. And this train station has no business being this good. Ooh, okay, I'm intrigued. So before we do start, don't forget to subscribe, click the bell button, and let's get it. The nicest train station I have ever seen. Ooh, probably Singapore. Singapore? Singapore or Japan? I think it's Singapore. Probably. We'll see. But anyways, we'll see how beautiful this train station is. So let's get it.
That meant I'd need to go to a small city about 50 kilometers away from Amsterdam on a regular basis. At first, I thought I'd have to drive to get out there because I've lived in way too many countries with terrible public transport. So I was very happy to see that I could easily get there by intercity train. Still, when I arrived for the first time, I was genuinely shocked because not only was there a train station, it was one of the nicest little train stations I've ever seen. This station is so ridiculously nice. The first time I came here, I just wandered around going, wow, look at this, and that over there. Oh, wow. This country never ceases to amaze me.
For a
But
second, I thought
okay.
the video was
I'll
like
get into all these
lagging.
great things in a minute. Just let me give you some context first. This is Zeist, with a population of about 65,000 people. And this is Driebergen, a town of about 19,000 people. And this is the Driebergen-Zeist train station located between the two of them. There's been a train station in this location since the mid-1800s, but it was a relatively unremarkable station in the middle of nowhere. It was just a stop on the way to somewhere else. This station didn't know where it was. First, it was just called Driebergen, then Zeist-Driebergen, then back to Driebergen, and finally to its current name of Driebergen-Zeist. The station became famous in the 1950s as the coffee station, where a whole family would come out to sell coffee to the entire train at once,
I think
aiming
my
to
video
serve
is lagging.
everyone before the train left again.
I think it is.
Passagiers die geregeld op deze lijn reizen weten al welke ontvangst hun te wachten staat. De koffiefamilie heeft er een eigen systeem voor. Ze regelt het zo dat ze de hele trein in één keer kan bedienen.
Oh, wait. Are
And
they
then apparently
selling?
everyone would just chuck
Wait, what is happening? Everyone will chuck coffees out. What
coffee
is
cups
this?
out the window, giving a job to this guy who had to go along the
So, coffee family has your own system and they serve the whole train at once. Oh, wow, that's fascinating. Okay, wow.
Ze regelt het zo dat ze de hele trein in één keer kan bedienen.
And then apparently everyone would just chuck their coffee cups out the window, giving a job to this guy who had to go along the tracks to clean them all up. I can confidently say that I have never seen anyone throw their garbage out of a train here, but I was also never offered any coffee on the platform either. Nowadays, Driebergen-Zeist should be known as the best small train station in the Netherlands because I'm pretty sure it is. The station was newly renovated and opened in May of 2020, but it kind of flew under everyone's radar because of the COVID lockdowns. The previous station layout here was pretty bad. There was a busy level crossing right on the main road into town, and get this level crossing was active for 20 minutes out of every hour, which is wild. You can hear the level crossing sound constantly going off in this video of the old station. By the way, thanks to CabView Holland for being clairvoyant enough to film the whole station right before construction started, and for letting me use his video. He puts out lots of videos that show a train driver's view of the Netherlands, and they're really interesting, especially if you're a fan of railways. I'll put a link to his channel in the description. The old level crossing situation was a pain for drivers, of course, but there were also plans to send 11 trains per hour per direction through this area, and there's no way they could get that kind of volume through a level crossing. Now, the station is at ground level across a 140-meter span, and the area under was dug out to fit everything else. For example, the road now goes under the station, which makes the whole area significantly safer and more efficient for everyone. The station is very well serviced by trains. 6 trains per hour per direction stop here, despite the combined population of the region being under 100,000 people. And there are now 4 tracks here as well, so express trains can pass stopping trains. The construction of the new Driebergen station was crazy. They built a temporary station and kept it open to trains almost the entire time. The longest downtime was a 16-day period where 750 people worked in shifts 24 hours a day so that 2.5 months of work could be compressed into about 2 weeks. The planning that was needed to pull this off must have been epic. Now, as I mentioned, Driebergen station is not really in Driebergen or Zeist. It's in an area in the middle and surrounded by a lot of forests. And this very lovely park, too. This is not exactly an ideal location for a train station, which is why this station needs to have very good connections to the outside world. So this redesign makes Driebergen Zeist much more than just a local train station. It's now a transportation hub for the whole region. Of course, since this is the Netherlands, there's a beautiful and functional bicycle parking garage. This garage holds around 3,000 bicycles. Look at how open, bright, and spacious this is, despite being under a train station. Oh, just ignore the glare off the glass. I couldn't get a better angle of this, okay? Trust me, it's awesome. From this bicycle stable, you can also pick up the OV Fiets rental bicycles, including these electric models. These are really handy in a location like this, where the train station is not in the center of the city, so longer distances may be required to get to and from the station by bicycle. And here's the best part of this garage. There's an elevator that literally takes you from the bottom of the bicycle parking garage right up to platform level. This is so great. Man, this country, I love it here. I also love what they did with the historical elements on the platform. You can see how they took the old platform roof, refurbished it, and elegantly integrated it into the new roof for the larger platform. It's a really nice attention to detail. The main entrance to the bicycle parking garage is right off this nice bicycle path that runs under the station. There's no road along this side of the station, so this is a really safe and pleasant place to cycle. Despite being underneath a train station, this place is very open and inviting, which is important for social safety. I love that this is always taken into consideration when the Dutch design infrastructure. This area under the tracks is very open and well lit, and the walls are curved to avoid the dingy tunnel feeling that you get from many other underpasses. There are multiple sets of stairs here, as well as an elevator to get up to the platform level. Underneath the stairs are some decorative rocks, as well as the "Any bicycles parked here will be removed" sign, which is surrounded by parked bicycles, as is typical in the Netherlands. There's also a small waiting room where you can sit if the weather is particularly cold and miserable. And there's a restaurant and a cafe, but sorry folks, it's not the 1950s anymore. You gotta get your own damn coffee. You can still get free water from the bottle refill station though. It's interesting to note that there are no fare gates at this station, which really surprised me because you see them at most stations in the Netherlands. Here, there's just a few ticket machines and a handful of places to tap your OV chip card or credit card to pay for a ticket. The north side of the station connects very nicely to this bus station, where buses regularly come and go, connecting travelers to the surrounding region. I was surprised just how many buses come through this area, and how many boarding areas there are too. How many, you may ask? There are J bus platforms. I also enjoyed how this office building had its main entrance off the bicycle path and across from the bus station, instead of having it on the other side of a parking lot, like is so common in other cities. In fact, this whole bus station is immediately accessible from the train station without needing to cross any roads or parking lots. I love how well the Netherlands designs their train stations so that you can easily get to and from it on foot, by bicycle, or by public transport without ever needing to interact with cars at all. Unfortunately, to go from the train to the bus, you have to go down from the platform level and then back up again to the bus platform, which I must admit is a bit annoying, especially if you can't take the stairs and need to go the long way around via the ramp. This is unavoidable with a central platform, and I suspect this design is the only way they could fit 4 tracks through this area. As you go past the bus station, and therefore the end of this new project, you can see that this is not some kind of urbanist paradise, but rather a relatively remote part of Zeist. There's a car dealership and a gas station immediately opposite the bus platforms. And there's a busy intersection with the main road, and a bicycle path going into town. Still, it amazes me how safe the cycling infrastructure is, even here, with a safe two-way crossing and a bicycle path in front of the car dealership and gas station, which is even big enough for this flatbed tow truck to unload a car in it while still leaving room for people to cycle around. Not that he should be parked here, but, you know, gotta get them cars delivered, I guess. It's much nicer without the truck. One thing that surprised me is that these townhomes are right next to the car dealership and directly across the street from this business park. This is certainly an interesting example of mixed-use zoning. On the other side of the station is the only place where you'll see cars, at this small drop-off area. This is right off the main road and doesn't cross any of the bicycle paths, so there's never any conflict between people cycling and people dropping off by car. You can see from this angle how the drop-off area for the station is off the main road while people cycling ride on the left. And they get there by this bridge which goes over the main road. This is a great design.
Super.
The main
like
road itself is fully separated from the station area with this underpass, and there's a two-way cycling.
It's not like us that we have to cycle here. If it was, talking about cycle, our town, oh my god, I think my city is watching my videos for some reason, because we have a cycling lane now. Not everywhere, but in the main town proper, because of course they can't do it everywhere because our roads are like literally this big, but they have cycling lanes now. So we have like footpaths, and then we have like a cycling lane here, and then we have the car lanes. When I saw that, I was like smiling from ear to ear, but it's just in the main town, of course. So hopefully slowly but surely things will get better. So I'm really proud about that one. But yeah, I really love the fact that everything is different, and you know, this is really like, okay, we'll talk after the video.
On the far side for anybody cycling through. And notice how this underpass is designed correctly. The bicycle path doesn't go down nearly as far as the car lanes do because people cycling don't need that much headroom. This is so rare to see outside of the Netherlands. Most other cities just put the bicycle path at the same level as the car lanes, resulting in an unnecessarily steep hill for cycling. This proper design makes it trivially easy to cycle here, and of course, there's even more safe separation from cars this way too. I do have an issue with this one intersection though. I've been told that this traffic light defaults to green for cars unless a bicycle is detected, which kinda sucks, especially if you just picked up speed coming down the hill, proving that even in the Netherlands, traffic engineers can find ways to screw up an otherwise great situation. Farther down this street is the park and ride garage for 600 cars, which provides access to the station by people with no other option than to drive. What I find interesting about this though is that the park and ride garage is not next to the station or in the station, it's farther away. This keeps dangerous car traffic away from the station area, making it safer for everyone outside of a car. And you might have noticed that there are over 5 times as many parking spaces for bicycles than for cars. It's obvious that cycling is the favored method of travel to and from this station, followed by bus and passenger drop-off. It should be possible to drive to a train station like this, but driving is not and should not be the primary way that people get here, and this has been made very clear in the design. All in all, this station design is amazing. I absolutely love it, and I've been told that this will be the new template used to improve many other small train stations in the Netherlands, which is great. There is one thing that bugs me though, and that's my usual complaint about a lot of modern train stations. Bad land use. The area around the station is still relatively low-density office buildings, a handful of houses, and of course the gas station and the car dealership. Oh, sorry, there's a pancake house on the right here, too. Given that there are now 88 trains per day between here and Utrecht, this should really be a place where a lot more people live and work. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's way better than Canadian train stations that are often surrounded by highways and parking lots, but I was still really surprised that this station is 3 years old, but I didn't see a single construction project. By comparison, Kampen-Zuid, a relatively new station, has a large residential development right beside it that was completed in 2018. Only 2 trains per hour per direction service this station, but the land use here is so much better than at Driebergen-Zeist. I really hope there are plans to redevelop this area in the future because having such a well-designed and well-serviced train station without a nice neighborhood around it is a huge wasted opportunity.
It's going to be expensive.
In my case, I was very fortunate that the office I had to go to was walking distance from the train station, which made for a very pleasant commute. But there's one thing I just gotta mention that made this regular trip even better. The closest train station for me is Amsterdam Zuid, but trains don't go directly from Driebergen-Zeist from Amsterdam Zuid. They go from Amsterdam Amstel, which is farther away. So I would either need to leave from Amstel or change at Utrecht to intercept that train. Utrecht Centraal is a great station and the busiest train station in the Netherlands, so transferring there is pretty easy. But for this particular trip, it was even better because this trip had a cross-platform transfer. My train from Amsterdam Zuid would arrive at Utrecht, and a few minutes later, the train to Driebergen-Zeist would leave. But these trains arrived on either side of the same platform.
So how do you get to the other side?
That meant that my train would arrive here, and all I had to do was to go over here.
Oh, okay. I like those type of transfers. I don't like the ones that you have to go up or down or even leave the station to go catch the other one. That one, yes, you just turn and be like, yo, this is me. Well,
isn't the only place in the world with cross-platform transfers, but I love that this is a thing. Somebody, somewhere, planned that this would happen, and let me tell you, as a traveler, it's like magic. I love it. My contract is over, and it sounds weird, but I legitimately miss coming to Driebergen-Zeist. The station is such a great example of modern, practical, and beautiful infrastructure design. This is what you get when you have decades and decades of experience building great places. And when you approach a development like this as a transit hub, integrated into a fully functioning transit network, instead of just another suburban train station with a parking lot. A project like this doesn't just come together on its own. It involves hundreds of talented people working together, including engineers and other technical disciplines. If you're interested in getting into engineering or just want a free and easy way to improve your skills in math and science, then I recommend Brilliant.org. Brilliant is an online learning platform.
So I think that's it for us. I think this is now about, Brilliant and then Nebula. So that was very fascinating. Sorry for the beginning of the video was kind of like sluggish. I was thinking, okay, at the beginning we're gonna get into like the architectural aspect of this station, but I love the fact that he gave us everything plus what I was thinking this video was gonna be, right? He gave us the route, like everything about this station, even the history, and how it was and then now, right? Like I didn't know like we were running around with coffees, like selling them as we still do here sometimes, not in the train but like in other public transportation. You see this guy with like, let's say, corn. I don't know why I thought of corn. Yeah, but they do sell corn. They'll come into the bus, and then after they finish selling, or whoever wants to buys, they will like get off if a passenger gets off, or they'll just tell the driver, I'll get off here, and then they just drop them in the middle of the street, and then they hop onto another bus, or they'll go back and do that. Like I didn't know that thing happened in Europe before. So I was really like fascinated about that, because we still do it here. um this was really interesting, very very interesting. And yeah, it's it's really amazing how, like, the engineering behind this, right? Like how the people who came up with this idea, like, oh, this intersection, da da da, and everything was just impeccable. But anyways, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow? Yes, tomorrow. Bye.